disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Michelle, and for the next hour I will be reading from the June 7th issue of the Sunday Gusto from the Buffalo News on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Cover story: From Amherst to the Burroughs. Co-creator Jeff Addis' love of monsters, musicals, and Muppets are all there in the new Netflix hit. When he was growing up in Amherst, Jeff Addis used to doodle monsters in his notebooks during class. Now Addis and his writing partner, Will Matthews, are co-creators of a monster Netflix hit, The Burroughs, set in a seemingly idyllic senior living facility where strange things involving weird creatures are occurring. The series features an all-star cast of senior citizens that include Alfred Molina, Greena Davis, Alfre Woodward, Clark Peters, Dennis O'Hare, Bill Pullman, Dee Wallace, and Jane Kazmazek. It was Netflix's #1 show the week of May 25th. The achievement has been a long time coming for the 45-year-old Addis. It feels like a very long, very lovely road that I really do trace back to Buffalo and the theater company I formed with my friends and singing in the Amherst High Auditorium, said Addis in a telephone interview, and doodling monsters in all my notebooks. His mother, Faith, described her son as being into two things as a child who came to Amherst in the 7th grade. He was a Jim Henson kid and a monster kid. I think I started reading Stephen King too young, said Addis, of being a monster kid. I just started reading everything I could, and it was monsters in particular. At Amherst Central High, he was known as the theater kid. He formed the Vagabond Players, where they performed Jesus Christ Superstar, As You Like It, and Little Shop of Horrors during the summers. You could see the monsters coming in there, said Addis of Little Shop. Everything I was doing, you could really see a lot of the seeds of what I was ending up doing professionally. He had a close-knit group of students who loved theater. We just loved it. We loved musicals. We'd spend our lunch breaks in the auditorium singing Jesus Christ Superstar. After graduating from Amherst in 1998, he went to New York University and planned to be an actor. He had some minor acting roles after moving to LA. He played a man who absorbed his own twin when he was in the womb in Grey's Anatomy, and was in the pilot episode of the Fox series Lie to Me, as somebody who lied to the lead character, a human lie detector, played by Tim Roth, about a parking spot. But Addis couldn't tell a lie. He lived off commercials early in his career. I did 40 or 50 commercials, so I was the Raisin Bran Crunch guy for a couple of years. Thank you, Kellogg's. They paid my bills. He transitioned from actor to writer with the support of his acting teacher, writer, actor, director Clark Gregg, who has starred in Marvel movies. It started with doing sketch comedy, which led to doing one-act plays, which led to writing plays, which led to Clark Gregg telling me, if you can write plays, you can probably write movies and TV. That's when I started writing scripts. It was sort of a turn I took late. In 2019, he and Matthews wrote The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, a prequel to Jim Henson's 1982 film. That was pretty much a dream come true, said Henson Kid. My dad introduced me to the Muppets, which led me to Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and all the sort of more fantastical stuff that Mr. Henson was doing. The Age of Resistance received strong reviews, but was canceled by Netflix after one season. However, it had a couple of important admirers, Matt and Ross Duffer, creators of the mega hit Stranger Things, who had a deal with Netflix to produce other projects. They liked The Dark Crystal and asked Addis and Matthews to meet. During a video conference call, the Duffers said to let them know if they had any ideas. Will and I went off that night and came up with the basics of the Burroughs. We pitched it to them. They got on board and had a few suggestions, then we pitched it to Netflix and sold it. They were great counselors, great producers, said Addis. The Duffers read the scripts, offered notes, and warned Addis and Matthews to be careful when they wrote something that might be hard to shoot or go into tricky places. It's sort of like having two very chill Obi-Wans, said Addis. They are very important to the process, and having their names on it means more people are going to watch it. Give it a shot, so that's very nice. Addis said the inspiration for the series was twofold. Will has been an old man since I met him when I was 17 years old, and I always loved monsters, and we just took all the things we love and put them into one show. That's what The Burrows is. It's just all the things we love. Old movies, classic music, monsters, great actors. The memorable music includes a karaoke scene using Bruce Springsteen's Thunder Road. Addis was surprised to get the rights, but added that Springsteen's people weren't as concerned about the money as they were about it being important to the story. He credited the show's music supervisor, Nora Felder, for selecting the music. It also pleased Addis's mother, a huge Springsteen fan. Almost every song that's in this show is a song that I've heard my mom sing in the car, said Addis. The casting of older actors helped with the storytelling. Traditionally, you use kids in these kind of stories because when kids go to adults and say, I saw a monster, nobody believes them. And it helps with the storytelling. When older characters turn to their kids and say, I saw a monster, nobody believes them. There was also an opportunity of what a great way to get actors who we grew up with that we've always wanted to work with. Molina's character, Sam, a grumpy old retired engineer with heart who reluctantly stayed in the Burrows after his daughter brought him there, is based on Addis's late grandfather Lem, right down to the toolbox he carries. The script also has a nod to Amherst in episode 3. The funeral home is named after it. The use of old televisions to combat the monsters is a nod to Poltergeist. And the ending, which I won't spoil, in which Sam looks into a mirror, is a nod to the first season finale of Stranger Things. The scene had a twofold purpose. She also wanted the first season to feel complete, or emotionally complete, because we didn't get a second season of Dark Crystal, and ended on a cliffhanger, said Addis. We always felt a little bad about doing that to audiences. We figured this way, if we don't get a season 2, at least we feel like we've left the characters in a pretty good place. There's a full emotional arc, and then there's that just a little fun hint of where we'd like to go. We don't want to count any chickens or weird creatures in caves before they're hatched, added Addis of a second season. With the Burrows becoming a monster hit, it's hard to see any stranger thing than Netflix not renewing it for a second season. Theater. Best of Broadway. 79th Annual Tony Award predictions. Who will win this weekend's Lost Boys, Schmigadoon, To Scrape It Out, Ragtime is a Lock by Bruce Miller. There isn't a Hamilton lurking in this year's Tony Award nominations, but there are plenty of shows that reward pop culture knowledge. All 4 of the Best Musical nominees have roots in old films, TV shows, and music. The one that's most original, Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, has a character who expects New York to look just like it did in the movies. There's more spark in the Best Revival of a Musical category, where Cats has been reimagined as a ballroom competition, and Ragtime makes parallels between yesterday's political woes and today's. Who will win the awards when they're handed out Sunday night? Here are our predictions. Musical. Best Actor in a Musical. This is the only lock. Joshua Henry is a stunning Coalhouse Walker Jr. in Ragtime. If he doesn't win, the votes are rigged. Best Actress in a Musical. Henry's co-star Casey Levy is a likely winner, but she could be bested by Christiana Pitts from The Two Strangers, or Marla Mendel, who spoofs Celine Dion in Titanic. Go with Levy. Best Featured Actor in a Musical. Andre DeShields already won a Tony for Hadestown, but he's such a legend he could get a second for Cats. The Gillisley Ball, his competition, all Louis Worsley from the Lost Boys and Ben Levy Ross from Ragtime. Look for the upset. Ross is incredible. Best featured actress in a musical. Shoshana Bean is beloved and gets a couple of great moments in The Lost Boys. She should win. If not, it's because Anna Gasteyer is such a force in Schmigadoon as the prime preacher's wife. Go with Bean. Best revival of a musical. Ragtime. Although Cats, the Jellicoe Bell is a highly original. Best musical. What a close call. Schmigadoon is campaigning like crazy, but The Lost Boys is the spectacle you want on Broadway. Two Strangers is the deal breaker. Winner, The Lost Boys. Best play, Liberation, even though it's not running anymore. If that's a factor, Giant or The Ballisters will figure in. Best revival of a play, Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. Best actor in a play, Nathan Lane, Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. Best actress in a play, Leslie Manville, Oedipus. Best supporting actor in a play, Alden Ehrenreich, Becky Shaw, or Christopher Abbott, Death of a Salesman. Best supporting actress in a play, Laurie Metcalf, Death of a Salesman. In other categories, Schmigadoon and Cats will battle for costumes and orchestrations and choreography. The Lost Boys should get sets and lighting. Two Strangers would get book or score or both. Best direction of a musical will either be Michael Arden for The Lost Boys or Lyra de Bessonet for Ragtime. Best direction of a play will go to Joe Mantello for Death of a Salesman. Music. Pictures. Cake opens Outer Harbor concert series. Photos by Harry Skull. Large band, large group, people open at the Outer Harbor. Sacramento, California, based Cake opened the Outer Harbor live concert series at Terminal B on May 29th. The band, which formed in 1991, plays an eccentric mix of alternate rock, funk, country, folk, and hip-hop. Founding members John McCrae, vocals, Vince DeForio, trumpets, keyboards, are joined by Zan McCurdy, guitar, Todd Roper, drums, and Daniel McCallan, bass. Its best-known songs are The Distance, Never There, and its striped down cover in Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. Cake's songs are noted for their sarcastic lyrics and deadpan vocals. Their current global tour runs through October. Pictures of the Outer Harbor. Pictures of Cake, featuring lead singer John McCrae, opens Terminal B concert series at the Outer Harbor on May 29th. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the June 7th issue of the Sunday Gusto from the Buffalo News. Things to do. Pride events, Forrest Frank, Journey, and Bill's Alumni by Tony Roberto. Buffalo loves a parade. We've got them for St. Patrick's Day, Dingus Day, Juneteenth, and multiples for our patriotic holidays. Next up is the colorful Pride Parade from 11 to 2 today, Sunday, as part of a month-long celebration of the LGBTQ+ community. The parade starts at Elmwood and Forest Avenue, then marches down Elmwood to Allen Street. This year's theme is Rooted in Pride. Awards will be given in 5 categories. Pride activities continue through June. Learn more at buffalopride.org. Here are 3 other events following today's parade. Pride Alive from 1 to 4 at Babeville. It's a free, family-friendly event for ages 5 to 21. It includes face painting, balloon making, storytelling, book giveaways, and drag performances. Caribbean Pride is from 2 to 8 Sunday at Front Park, Bustay Avenue. Hosted by La Cultura at Western New York, it celebrates pride and Caribbean culture with music, DJs, Caribbean food, vendors, an interactive art piece by Julicio Jugoso, Latin dance lessons, and aerobatic performances by Buffalo's Aerial Dance. It's an 18 and older event. General admission tickets is $25. Pride Fest 26th Street Festival is from 3:30 to 10 on Allen Street between Main and North, Pearl, near 26 Allen Street. Free events include performances, DJ, dancing, and karaoke. A drag extravaganza is hosted by Daphne York and Vanadu and features Kennedy Davenport of RuPaul's Drag Race. Also happening, Forrest Frank, 7 p.m. Monday at the KeyBank Center. With singer and songwriter Forrest Frank was growing up in Fulshear, Texas, he noticed a lack of cool Christian music. So he did what any artist would do. He created his own. In the process, he has gained devout fans, won 5 Dove Awards, and earned multiple Grammy nominations, and headlined multiple national tours. On his current Jesus Generation tour, Frank will perform in the round and is bringing with him Tori Kelly, Corey Ashbury, and the Figs. Journey, 7:30 Wednesday, KeyBank Center. This Final Frontier tour will cap off the legacy of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band that was formed in San Francisco in 1973. This tour is our heartfelt thank you to the fans who've been with us every step of the way, through every song, every era, every high and low. Founding member and guitarist Neil Schon is a press release. Expect the hits, along with deep cuts and a new stage show. Joining Schon is longtime keyboardist Jonathan Cain, plus lead vocalist Arnel Pineda, keyboardist Jason Durlatica, drummer Dean Castranovo, and bassist Todd Jensen. Star Wars Night 17 with the Buffalo Bisons, game at 6:05 Saturday at Salem Field. Bring your plastic lightsaber and dress like your favorite character for this 17th annual event. Gates open at 4:30 and you can expect traditions such as costume characters, in-game videos, and post-game activities including fireworks. Look for a life-size Jabba the Hutt. Bison's players will be wearing commemorative Darth Maul jerseys that will be signed and auctioned off. There's a game too with the Bisons playing with Syracuse Mets at 6:05. Family packages are available. Bills Alumni Music Festival. Doors open at 11 Saturday at the Cove, Transit Road, Depew. The Buffalo Bills Alumni Foundation is a group of former Bills members who help the community through appearances and special events such as this concert. Music starts at noon with performances by the Bills Alumni Blues Band, Letter to Elise, the Maria Arogama Band, Cordell Winter Band, Jim Crean and Friends, and Mick Hayes and the All-Star Band. There will be tributes to the Beatles, Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and Led Zeppelin, and the Bonnie Raitt Tribute Band. Also look for Mick Hayes, Bobby LaBelle, Patty LaParks, Jesse Gallant, and Sue Kincaid. General tickets are $45. Quick calendar. Buffalo Greek Festival, noon to 8 today, Sunday, at Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church in Buffalo, West Utica Street. His Girl Watson, a Sherlock Noir, through June 27th. In the Alleyway Theater, One Curtain Up Alley, world premiere of Maxim Mazumda Award Winning New Adventures of Holmes and Watson by Kevin Cerrone. Robin Hitchcock, 7 p.m. tonight at the Sportsman's Tavern, Amherst Street. A Few Good Men, presented by Road Less Traveled Productions, June 11th through the 28th in Shays 710 Theater, Main Street. Allentown Art Festival, 11 to 6, Saturday and next Sunday, along Delaware Avenue and Allen Street. Art vendors and food. Allen West Art Festival, 10 to 6, Saturday and 10 to 5 next Sunday on Allen Street, from Elmwood to Wadsworth Street. Music, vendors, and entertainment. Celtic Fair, 10 to 4, Saturday and next Sunday at the Genesee Country Village Museum, Flint Road, Mumford. Bagpipes, Highland games, Irish dancing, and traditional foods. Just announced. Arrival from Sweden, the music of ABBA, 8 p.m. September 18th, Seneca Niagara Resort Casino, Niagara Falls. Tom Jones, 8 p.m. October 2nd in the OLG stage of Falls View Casino, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Sal Valentinetti, Christmas Comes to Town with Damiano Mazzone, 7:30 December 3rd in the West Herd Riviera Theater, North Tonawanda. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Wild and Swingin' Holiday Party, 7:30 December 15th, West Herd Riviera Theater. Ghostbusters in concert, 7:30 October 16th in the University at Buffalo Center for the Arts, North Campus. West Herd Riviera Theater. Just announced, Rocky at the Riv, the Rocky Horror Picture Show Party, October 24th. Elvis Lives, a tribute to Elvis, January 21st and 22nd. On sale now. Beach Party Boys, June 12th. Linger, June 13th. Land of Oz, June 19th. Burlesque, starring Danny Diesel and Friends, June 27th. Yellow Brick Road, tribute to Elton John, July 10th and 11th. Green Today, a tribute to Green Day, July 18th. Music of Phil Collins, Genesis, July 24th and 25th. Montgomery and featuring Eddie Montgomery, August 6th. DSL Dire Straits Legacy World Tour, August 15th. Queen Nation, August 28th, 29th, and 30th. Shady, live band tribute to Eminem, September 11th. Television. Show notes. New and returning TV series to watch in June by Crystal Huggins. New series June 1st, Doctor on the Edge, Hulu. Bring Me the Beauties, a model cult, HBO. June 2nd, Bodies in the Water, ID. Devotion, Obedience and Betrayal, Paramount Plus. Not Suitable for Work, Hulu. June 3rd, Michael Jackson, The Verdict, Netflix. June 4th, Night Shift for Cuties, Netflix. The Witness, Netflix. June 5th, Cape Fear, Apple TV Plus. Teach You a Lesson, Netflix. June 6th, Locker Diaries, Phineas and Ferb, Shorts, Disney Plus. June 7th, This Land, CNN. 100 Cooks, Food Network. Best of the World with Antonio Porogowski. June 8th, Crashers, HGV TV. Alice and Steve, Hulu. June 10th, Big Girls Wanted, Escaping Paradise. ID. Most Extreme Humans, TLC. Every year after Prime Video. The Rest is Football. Netflix. Dragon Striker, Disney Plus. Outlast the Jungle, Netflix. Surviving the Earth, June 11th, NBC. The Evil Lawyer, Netflix. Viral Hit, Netflix. June 12th, The Listeners, Stars. The Polygamist, Netflix. June 15th, TLC. Little Singles. June 18th, I Will Find You, Netflix. June 19th, Oasis, Netflix. June 20th, The Root of the Game, Netflix. June 22nd, See You at Work Tomorrow, Prime Video. June 24th, The American Experiment, Netflix. June 26th, Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness, HBO. June 27th, Agent Kim Reactivated, Netflix. June 29th, Adventure Time, Side Quests, Disney Plus. Returning series. June 7th, Interview with the Vampire, AMC, Season 3. June 8th, American Ninja Warrior, NBC, Season 8. Below Deck Mediterranean, Season 11, Bravo. June 10th, My Family, Season 2, Netflix. Rosario Tijeros, Mexico, Season 5, Netflix. All the Queen's Men, Season 5, Final Season, Paramount Plus. June 11th, Sweet Magnolias, Season 5, Netflix. June 12th, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, new episodes, Disney Plus and Hulu. Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, Season 5, Final Season, Stars. June 13th, My Adventures with Superman, Season 3, Adult Swim. June 14th, The Ultimate Fighter, Season 34, Paramount Plus. June 15th, The McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys, Season 3, Bravo. June 16th, Lakefront Bargain Hunt Renovation, Season 5, Magnolia Network. America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, Season 3, Netflix. June 18th, The Capture, Season 3, Peacock. June 19th, Sugar, Season 2, Apple TV Plus. June 21st, House of the Dragon, Season 3, HBO. The Agency, Season 2, Paramount Plus. June 22nd, Rhythm and Flow, Italy, Season 3, Netflix. June 23rd, Love It or List It, Season 21, HGTV. June 24th, Another Self, Season 3, Netflix. Next Gen, New York City, Season 2, Bravo. Behind the Attraction, Season 3, Disney Plus. June 25th, The Bear, Season 5, Final Season, FX and Hulu. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Season 2, Netflix. Pokemon Horizons, Netflix, Season 3, Part 3. Camp Snoopy, Season 2, Apple TV Plus. June 30th, Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 6, Paramount. Books. William Lloyd's life in fiction began with a lie. British novelist discusses his latest espionage thriller, The Predicament, by Barbara Lewis. William Lloyd has built a writing career that has ranged from best-selling spy thrillers to screenplays to whole-life novels that follow characters from the cradle to the grave. The 74-year-old British author's work has been translated into more than 40 languages. His latest book, The Predicament, is the second installment of an espionage trilogy and was published in paperback in April. The third installment, Cold Sunset, is due out later this year. Some of Boyd's most famous stories have taken on a life beyond this page. He invented an abstract expressionist artist he named Nat Tate, and with the help of David Bowie in 1998, managed to convince the art world he had really existed. Speaking with Rutgers from his home in West London, Boyd reflects on his writing process, the shifting economics of the publishing world, and why his next major project will stray beyond fiction. This conversation has been edited for length and clarity. How did you get your career started? I shall never forget the day I got a reply from an editor saying, "We want to publish the stories, but we want to publish the novel first." The only problem was that I actually hadn't written the novel. I was lying. And so I told another lie and said the manuscript's in a terrible state. I need to retype it, etc. And I wrote my first published novel, A Good Man in Africa, in about 3 months of white-hot dynamism, and sent it in. It won 2 prizes. It got very good reviews, was picked up for paperback by Penguin, and I was sort of off and running. You've written a number of whole life novels that follow characters' lives from cradle to grave. Would you ever consider turning your own life into a whole life novel? I have published a kind of autobiography. It's called The Mirror and the Road, Conversations with William Boyd by Alistair Owen. It's a book-length question and answer that covers my life and work. Also, I have been keeping a journal since I was 19. A vast document now, over 1 million words, I reckon. It will never be published in my lifetime, but I find it useful and occasionally fascinating aide-memoir. It's extraordinary how much of your life you forget or inadvertently reshape. So there is my autobiography in incredible detail, but it's only one reader, has only one reader. Books, A Whole New World, 8 escapist novels that offer a break from your own reality by Claire Mulroy. We all need a break from reality every now and then. Escaping into a good novel is the perfect fix. Why dwell on everyday anxieties when you can blast off into intergalactic battles, ride dragons, and fall in love somewhere it's always sunny? Here are 8 books that make for the perfect escape from fantasy to science fiction to romance. Dungeon Crawler Carol series by Matt Diniam. Lit RPG literary role-playing books are having a moment thanks in part to Dungeon Crawler Carol. This highly addictive subgenre combines sci-fi and fantasy storytelling with video games mechanics like stats and quest logs. In Dungeon Crawler Carol, a man and his ex-girlfriend's cat survive an alien invasion and must now participate in a video game-like dungeon reality television show with intergalactic viewership. These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. Why not escape from your family drama into someone else's? These Summer Storms follow Alice, the estranged daughter of a tech billionaire, returning to her family's private island after her father's unexpected death. Per the patriarch's final wishes, the family must embark on a wild inheritance game and spend one chaotic week together. Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yamboro. In this cozy fantasy, a young woman inherits an enchanted Tokyo pawn shop that appears to most people as a ramen restaurant. But for those who are lost enough to enter, it's a lifeline to pawn away past choices and deep regrets. The story opens when Hana Ishikawa inherits the shop only to find both her father and the shop's most precious acquisitions are missing. Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. The Mistborn series is the best place to start with Sanderson's fantasy books. There's also the widely popular Stormlight Archive series, which, at more than 1,000 pages each, is a whole lot of fiction to escape into. The original Mistborn trilogy is set on the grim planet of Scardriel and framed around the mysterious prophecy and powerful Allomancers who can wield metals to perform magic. Done and Dusted by Lilac Sage. What could be a better escape than Hot Cowboys? Sage's best-selling Rebel Blue Ranch series will transport you into a swoony Western romance. In Done and Dusted, Emmy Ryder begrudgingly returns to her picturesque Wyoming hometown after an accident makes it impossible for her to continue riding horses. It's there she reunites with Luke Brooks, her brother's best friend and the town's resident bad boy. Throne of Glass series by Sarah Mays. I hardly hear a fantasy series praised more for escapism than Throne of Glass, except maybe Ma's other series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Throne of Glass follows Kalina Sardothian, an assassin summoned to the castle to win her freedom and serve as the king's champion. There are 8 books, including The Assassin's Blade, a 5-novella collection set before Throne of Glass. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. In this best-selling romance series, a young maiden has lived a solitary life from birth, with the fate of an entire kingdom resting on her shoulders. As she waits for her ascension, a golden-eyed guard comes into her life and makes her question everything she thought she knew. At the same time, a fallen kingdom threatens a return to power. Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. This series follows Bree Matthews, a 16-year-old looking to escape her grief while it is a residential program for gifted high schoolers. But when she witnesses a magical attack on her first night, a flying demon and a secret society of students hunting the creatures, she unlocks her own magic. Now she'll have to infiltrate the secret Legendborn society and use her powers to face the truth about her mother's death. Taste. You are listening to reading of articles and features from the June 7th issue of the Sunday Gusto from the Buffalo News. Taste. Restaurant notes. Sully's Chowder House opens for the waterfront dining. You live in a coastal city. It's a warm, cloudless Sunday evening and a cusp of summer. You'd like to eat seafood and drink beer by the water. Watch the waves ripple and sparkle in the setting sunlight. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not. Welcome to the new era of waterfront dining in Buffalo. Waterfront restaurant choices were weak at the start of 2020s, but the city has come a long way. Last month, a new sit-down seafood and wood-fired pizza restaurant, Sully's Chowder House, opened at the Erie Basin Marina. At the marina, Sully's joins its older siblings, the bar and casual patio restaurant, Sully's Harbor Bar and Grill, and ice cream stand, Scarlett's. At the Outer Harbor, outdoor taco restaurant Piero and Pani returned for its second season. Resurgence Brewing Company has reopened its beer garden at Canalside. Each of these restaurants opened within the past couple of summers. At Sully's Chowder House, owner Jason Davidson follows the popular philosophy of letting good ingredients shine on their own without manipulating them much. The philosophy is most apparent in the restaurant's interior design, which understands that the primary reason for being there is the waterfront view. It's all windows, and there are no bad view seats. Davison lets lobster do most of the talking. He imports live, wriggling lobsters from Boston, Mass., and breaks them down in the kitchen to stuff buttery lobster rolls. He also serves the lobster whole on a tray with clams, sausage, corn on the cob, salt potatoes, and a general amount of butter for $49. He makes lobster disc for $6 for a cup, $11 for a bowl, and a lobster salad for $36. In other lobster news, Alcott Lobster Company opened a second location in Lewiston this summer at Center Street. That means there are now at least 3 local restaurants serving authentic New England-style lobster rolls. It's not only about the lobster. Davidson Soup Chops, his soups have a close following at the Terrace. Shine through his homemade creamy clam and haddock chowder. The raw bar includes oysters, clams, and shrimp served in various numbers and combinations. An appetizer of ahi tuna, nachos, a crab cake BLT served with kettle chips, and a pickle and dinner plates of codfish, scallops, blackened salmon, each served picnic style with curly fries, coleslaw, crab macaroni salad, and a roll. The wood-fired oven, which is visible from the dining room through the semi-open kitchen, produces a new few kinds of pizza, including seafood-heavy option of clam, shrimp, and white sauce. While the focus is on New England's regional specialties, Buffalo's tourist-pleasing wings, beef on weck are also on the menu. Davidson capitalizes on the restaurant's waterfront location. Every seat, whether inside the chowder house or out in the bar's patio, has a view of the water. The seafood menu is topical, even though the fish don't come from the water outside the restaurant, and if they did, you probably wouldn't want to eat them. There's live music on Sully's patio every Thursday and Friday, and some of the other days the restaurants are open. Davidson understands that people want simple things during the summer, to be outside in the sunshine, eating, drinking, and listening to music by the water. There's a lot of competition for great food. It's a great restaurant city, Davidson said. People crave a new experience. When you have a great view or a historic location, you're adding another element that adds to the dining experience. Sully's Chowder House is open from noon to 10, Thursdays through Sundays. Parking is free in a lot across from the restaurant. The restaurant doesn't take reservations, but guests can wait at a bar or on the patio. Patio guests are served through an outdoor window to the bar. Food events. Buffalo Greek Fest, one of the best local food festivals, closes out today, Sunday, from noon to 7. Greek culture will be celebrated at Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church on Utica Street. Admission is $3. A Cook's Tour returns at 6:30 June 22nd at Kleinhans Music Hall. Local chefs offer tasting of their food, along with chefs at auction selling unique food experiences, a 50-50 raffle, silent auction, and cash bar. Tickets are $71, VIP tickets $135, include an earlier entrance time, 1 hour open bar, swag bag, and meet and greet with the chefs. Proceeds benefit nonprofit Family Meal Hospitality Trust, which supports local restaurant workers with financial aid and health services. Columns on gardening. Austin Pretty Limits by Norman Winter. If you've got sun and want a touch of the tropics and a basket's full of blooms, then Austin Pretty Limits oleander is for you. Let's address your cold hardiness concerns first. Austin Pretty Limits is cold hardy from zone 8 and up. That's a large swath of the country that can grow the shrub with ease. The rest of the country can grow Austin Pretty Limits in containers by the pool or on the porch, patio, or deck. You might be thinking that's a pretty large shrub, and in some respects you might be right. Austin Pretty Limits, however, is in a 5 to 6 foot height range with a 4-foot spread. The garden guy lives in a virtual forest with decreasing sunlight. My Austin Pretty Limits oleander is in one of the sunniest locations in the landscape and has me wishing for more. I say to tell you that I still get incredible blooms, but maybe not like friends in absolute full sun. My growth habit is slightly open and I feel the branches reach for the sun, perhaps enhancing my shrub's height. One of the most valued traits of Austin Pretty Limits is a long bloom season, especially in regions farther south. If it's not always showing blooms, it will seem that way. I'm in zone West Georgia and mine started blooming late the last week of April. It's still blooming with no end apparent. It's reported to bloom on old wood and new wood. As you might guess, the garden guy is not content with just planting a shrub, but searches out combinations. The garden guy is not content with planting a shrub, but the first few years I tried various annuals like superstar pentas, angel face angelonias, or summer snapdragons. Then I added a rose bush, oh so easy peasy. I placed it at the rear of the bed in an effort to keep the neighborhood deer population from noticing it. It syncs with the oleander in bloom some, but so far not an easy photo. But now I'm into perennials about the Austin Pretty Limits. I've got luscious citrus blend lantana, summerific Valentine's crush hibiscus, rock and play in the blues salvia, and extrally little star bovedaria of firecracker bush. They all give wonderful blooms, but no combo photo. It may come in a few weeks. As of legendary, oleanders are not to be eaten or ingested. If you feel the need to prune, wear gloves, as the sap ooze is also toxic, and do not burn the refuse, as the smoke is toxic. While these warnings may sound scary, simply know and teach. Then enjoy the incredible blooms and every green texture that Austin Pretty Limits oleander has to offer the landscape. Besides sun, good drainage is essential, as the oleander is not a bog plant. If you're searching for a screen or blooming hedge-type shrub, the Austin Pretty Limits oleander should certainly be considered. Planting season is at hand, and search out Austin Pretty Limits oleander. You have been listening or reading of articles and features from the June 7th issue of the Sunday Gusto from the Buffalo News. Your reader has been Michelle. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the front section of the Sunday Times. At 2 o'clock, we have the New York Times Opinion section. And at 3 o'clock, we have the New York Times Arts and Leisure section. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. If you're listening to this publication online, you're probably using our website, a podcast player like Spotify or iTunes, a streaming service like Siro, or a smart speaker. Did you know that we now have a dedicated app that can be downloaded to any mobile device, like a smartphone or tablet, for free? App users can conveniently access our live stream and any episode of our podcast easier than ever. To download the app, just type NFRRS in the search window in the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store. Contact us anytime if you have any questions by calling 716-821-5555, extension 5. Thank you. You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. As of this year, our agency has broadcast more than 300,000 hours of radio readings. Volunteer radio readers read newspapers, magazines, and books to area people who are blind or have a print disability, who are provided reading radios. Radio Reading's broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. Radio Reading broadcasts from studios at 1199 Harlem Road in suburban Buffalo. Please let others know about Radio Reading. It's your service. For more information on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, call 716-821-5555. If you or people you know shop at any of the Dash's supermarkets, please save Dash's register tapes for radio reading. Our agency receives $2 for every $100 in Dash's register tapes. Radio Reading has raised thousands of dollars so far. Anyone can drop off their Dash's tapes to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, between William and Clinton Streets. Or Dash's tapes can be mailed to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 1199 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, New York, 14227. Any questions on Dash's tapes for radio reading? Call us at 716-821-5555, and thanks for caring. The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book,